2 roles and 2 rules. As long as my husband Patrick and I follow that very simple formula, our life together, our travel life goes really, really well. We have wonderful adventures. And we've been traveling together for a long time. We've been married 25 years. We lived on 4 continents. We visited over 40 countries. So as long as we follow that formula, we're fine. And the 2 roles are, well, the first role number 1 is the navigator. C'est moi. And my rule is I love maps. I'm a map nerd. So I get to have a really good map. Role number 2, Patrick is the driver. Now, he's a fantastic driver as long as I follow his rule for me as the navigator, and that is Margaret. Whenever I ask you, where do we go from here, you just tell me, go right or go left. I'll never blame you if you're wrong. So, a pretty simple formula. Well, a few years ago, we were visiting Iberia for the first time. We had been in Lisbon. We love Lisbon. We walked our feet off, and we're going to leave Lisbon. We're going to head to Seville in Spain. And we had rented a little red rental car, and we're leaving the hotel, and we know the general manager, and he said, hey, since you've got a rental car and I'm not using my GPS, why don't you just take my GPS and you can bring it back when you fly back out of Lisbon? And Patrick said, that's a great idea. And since I hadn't bought my beautiful map of Spain and my beautiful map of Seville, against my better judgment, I said yes. So we got in our rental car and we put the GPS on the dashboard, and the general manager pointed us towards the highway. We got on the highway, and the highway in Portugal just goes straight south, just a straight shot. We turned on the GPS and we chose Spanish because Patrick and I each speak a little sort of rudimentary Spanish. And GPS lady springs to life and she starts chirping at us. Sigue adelante. Continue straight ahead. I mean, we're on a highway that goes straight, so honestly, as a navigator, I'm like, no offense, GPS lady, but that's a bit of a no-brainer. But I'm trying to keep an open mind about this new technology. So she gets us down the length of Portugal, then you make kind of a right turn, you go east into Spain. Again, you're on a major highway. Sigue adelante. Okay, dumbass, got it. So Patrick keeps driving straight, and it's beautiful, these wonderful hills, green and brown, and fields of sunflowers. It's really lovely, and then we start to see signs for Seville. Yay, that's our destination. And then we start to see this bullseye sign, which in Europe means center of town. And oh, I wanted to follow that sign. I had booked our hotel. It was in the center of town. But GPS lady said, sigue adelante. Okay, I thought, well, maybe there's construction or maybe she knows a better way to go. I'm trying to trust her. And so sigue adelante, Patrick keeps driving, and then we start to see Seville on the left in the distance. Sigue adelante, and then we start to see Seville receding in the distance behind us. Sigue adelante, and then all of a sudden we're on somehow this entry ramp to this suspension bridge, 4 lanes of traffic heading high up into the sky and far away from Seville, which is well behind us at that point. I am not happy with GPS lady at this point, and that's when our rental car starts beeping, beeping, beeping. I'm like, Patrick, please slow down. I'm quite sure the car is beeping at you because you always like to go a little too fast. And Patrick's like, I can't be going too fast, Margaret. We're in 4 lanes of traffic on a suspension bridge. It's going awfully slow, and besides, the car is beeping because we're almost out of gas. And I'm like, oh, what the hell? Didn't I say when we made that right turn from Portugal to Spain, like, shouldn't we get good gas here? And he's like, well, we weren't almost out of gas then. And I'm like, what? I'm like, just get over this bridge and get off the bridge, which is really the only thing you can do once you're stuck on a bridge. So anyway, we get off the bridge. He pulls into, thank God, a gas station. I leap out of the car. I run into the mini mercado, and I buy a beautiful map of Spain, and I buy a beautiful map of Seville, and I'm feeling better, particularly because the man behind the desk who sold me the map is this gorgeous Spaniard. Okay, so I'm feeling better. I go back to the car, I get in the car, Patrick has filled it up with gas, so we have the marital equivalent of a reboot. Deep breath, turn to one another and smile. So we head back over the suspension bridge. I open up my beautiful map. We follow the bullseye back towards the center of town, and I got my map out and I'm able to be guiding us. The streets are getting narrower and narrower, but I'm doing fine, feeling good. Until we get into this enormous roundabout, which you know in Europe, they don't have so many of the traffic intersections with stoplights. It's this big roundabout. And you have to head off on one of sort of the spokes of the wheel. Okay, it's not that easy to do, but I've got my map and Patrick is going around the roundabout. And I'm turning the map, I'm trying to figure out where we are, and he's turning, and he's getting frustrated, I can tell, and GPS lady starts up, she's like, gira a la izquierda, turn left. It's like, bitch, that is what a roundabout is. That's the only thing you can do, is you are inherently turning left. That is supremely not helpful. And Patrick's like, do you remember the rule, Margaret? The rule is just tell me where to get off. And I'm like, I really don't know. I really can't find my way on the map. And then I do something, I'm not proud of this, but that's why I travel. I get lost in the wonder of art and architecture. And I go, oh, look, that's the cigar factory from the Opera Carmen. And Patrick's like, I don't care about that, Margaret. Tell me where to get off of this roundabout. And in my excitement and frustration, I kind of let go of the map. It kind of slips out of my hand. It kind of slips over the steering wheel. It kind of slips a little bit over the dashboard. And Patrick goes, that's it. And he just pulls off the first street he can and he stops. And that's when we notice we're on a one-way street, heading the wrong way. And about 3 yards in front of us, there is a Spanish policeman. He's leaning on his shiny black motorcycle. He's got his shiny black boots crossed at the ankle. He's leaning back, he's smoking languidly. And when he takes a look at our license plate and he sees it's a Portuguese license plate, he smiles, flicks his cigarette away, opens up his little ticket booklet out of his pocket and starts to stride towards us. And I lose it. I'm like, Patrick, I cannot believe this is happening. We're gonna get a ticket, and if you had just let me buy a map instead of the damn GPS, and how about the gasoline? I'll be honest, I'm not sure at all the relevance of the gasoline in this argument, but you know how it is when you get in the middle of an argument. I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. And by then the police officer was right in front of our car, and he's looking in through the windshield. And he gives Patrick the most sympathetic look you can imagine. He's like, hombre, I am married too. You do not need me to pile on. And he actually mouths the words to Patrick, vaya con Dios, amigo. He puts away his little ticket booklet, he turns on his shiny black heel and walks back to his motorcycle. Patrick starts up the car and eases past the police officer. We're like waving as we go by. And then GPS lady starts up again, and I am ready to kill her, but she says, usted está en su destino. And I'm like, you are at your destination? And there was our hotel at the end of the street. So Patrick pulls in and we check into the hotel. And he says, well, where do we go from here? Well, given this team of navigator and driver, we went out for coffee, we sat in a piazza, we enjoyed Seville, and we started to dream about our next travel adventure. Thank you.